I'm weak. I'm weak. The holidays have taken its toll. I am so back on my work, it's insane. I sit in and I listen to the prayer, and then they go, Amen. And I know in Canada, they always go, Hey, hey guy, hey man, there's men, there's a man, he's a man, he's a man, he's just as much as a mention of man of anybody else. Then they went to Revelation. Well, Rev, or to rev up a car, lation, translation, changing the ION around, change it around to INO, Latino. So what is it about the Latinos? What do we have to know? Is it the music? Is it the dance? Is it the stereotype? We have to take one language at a time. Where did the Latino language come from? Did it start after God began to build and he dropped something and it went ting, lating, lating? When they go lating, it's a Frenchman saying, where is it? The thing, where is it? Oh, we're Earth, the thing of Earth. We are Earthlings, ETs, extraterrestrials, extra time, the elements of time. One of the reasons we get 5 in the center is we get the major 4 elements, WWE, WWF. E can be 3 or 5. We can continue. We can ask ourselves, when God placed the pyramids, the sands of time that wore and bore through the pyramids have created the soil and the underneath placements of our planets. So if there's what they call plates underneath the planets, maybe those plates were actually pyramids created in a W and M shape next to each other. Designs of letters, wear and tear of pyramids, the placements and connections between the electrical boxes, the colors that were created through the elements. As I see it, if this is a game and it's all about Jupiter, what color represented water? What colors represented earth? What color represented water and earth mixed? What represented the seed of God, of life, earth mixed and water? What happens when the fire came and the iron turned red and hot and melted over? Boring a shaft, boring a hole. But through the hole, you bear a child. You bore. A boar is known as a male pig. His tail curls like an S, just like the universe. The electronics force the tail to curl. I started on something new. I wrote about 25 pages, but I'm going to give you the basics of it. Can you see it closer? Here's the little guy. It's a diamond in the rough at the bottom. It stabilizes the 2 spirit sticks on each side, which climb to the 2 razor blades, which are actually diamonds, that if it was put on a smaller scale, there would be numbers that come from these diamonds. In actuality now, it comes from this square over to this square, from this square over to this square. The diamond here that looks like the razor, from this square over to this square, and from this square over to this square. This square gets recreated by the squares that are in between the squares, connecting the squares together. If you see the 2 eyes of the wolf and the nose, this nose and the top of the diamond come together, and this is center position, what they call number 23. The 2 dollar signs of what you say are the dollar signs of life of what you get to go into action. The man you see at the top is number 8. This is one side of the Torah, this is the other. These are the sticks that keep you in between the lines of life. And when one stick falls over, you fall over, and the game is gone. This number is 8 in the center position. This number is number 13 on the left side of the keyboard. 1 and 3 is 4. To the right, there is nothing in the center. The 14 passages in the center. And as you can see, it is the mind of the fox who lay to rest between the 2 dollar signs, which are the tops of the Torah handles and the bottom that sink into the ground. You unravel it, and we go to 2 more skips. We skip the middle line over here where his eyes can see. And then we come down to number 19, the 1 spirit of the 9 birth, which is a cross. A cross from what? We take a look a little bit closer. It is a cross from 21. 19 and 21 make the 40 of the game. 15 and 28 make the time heaven. 3 of creation of the 5 past creating the 6, area 51. When you come down below, we get to number 25. In the center, we have the 2 eyes, which is an actual eighth of how it connects. I cannot design and enter in everything, so I put a little bit at a time. I cannot show you much of the sense of anything at all unless you understand the numbers. On this side, we have number 27. So what we're going to do now is 31 and 13 creates 44. This is the actual explanation of what they say space. 4 and 4 is 16, and 4 is 64. You have created a split board they call the chessboard. They also use it to play checkers, where you get doubled up in king, then you get to move all ways. On this side over here, we have a 19. When we reverse it, we get to 110, but in all actuality, we get to 1010. This is one of the only numbers in this whole entire board that will surpass the number of 10 in totality of JJ. On this number here of 25, we reverse it to 77. 77 and 19 and 91 is 177, which is actually just 77. 77 and 1 is 78. 78 and 44 is 122. 1, 2, and 2, or 2, 1, and 2 is 5. You have now averaged for the center. If you come into the center, the total is 98. I will not do the exact same feat in the center, as I have not prepared. 8 does not reverse. 8 becomes 8. 23, 32 become 55. 32 is down here. 32 reverse itself the same thing as 55. But all I'm going to give you is the total numbers, because it is the center and more difficult than obviously you can see on my page that I've scribbled so much I can barely see what I have written. So I keep starting over and over and over. We move on to the right side. 15 reverse comes 66, because this is the side of creation. 21 reverses with 12. We have 33 for the 3 creation of 3, which is the 6 dice, which is also like the baseball. In order to show you and explain to you and understand of the baseball, when you create the 8 and the jigged lines, you can go all the way around the ball. You have a starting, you have a center, smaller area, and you have an end. That's 3 parts. When you go around the other way of the baseball, it makes the same 3 parts. That's 3 and 3 that makes the ball round. And now it's time to play on the earth and the diamond on the field that was supplied by us by someone of a team higher that can build just about anything he wants. So we're going to go on and finalize the numbers. Everybody knows there's 6 islands and 6 islands with 1 spirit in the center, 6, 1, and 6. 3 by 3 by 3 by 3 makes the 81 worlds. 3 by 3 is 9. 3 plus 3 is 6. 9 and 6 is 15. 1 and 5 is 6. 27 is, this is the number, we reverse it to 99. The 10 for this is 11. 3 of them go into here, and 6 of them go into here. 3 and 6 makes the 9 of the 11 that fit. I'm not going to do this side right now, but 77 on the bottom and 44 on the top makes 121, which is 1111. It's very hard to explain to you the whole thing, but the totality of the numbers of each side and the single digits come out to the 3 creation of the 8 heaven of the 9 birth. 9 by 8 is 72. 9 plus 8 is 17. 17 and 72 repeats the number. It is perfect. 3 times 89 is 267. 2 of 67, which is the explanation. There are 2 worlds of 6 and 7. Then I can continue on to the numbers. But the totality of the numbers that we get, 57, 98, 63. This totals 161. This totals 218. 218. 8 and 1 is 9. 2 and 0, we separated it. 2 and 0 is 2. 9 and 2 is 11. On the bottom, we did it the other way. 8 and 1 is 9. 20 and 9. 9 and 2 becomes 11 again. 11, 9, 11, 9. When we bring the numbers out to a single fit of 218, I multiply 1 by 2. I add 1 with 2. I multiply 1 by 8, and I add 1 by 8. And I put the answer down here. And then all I do is I go 2 by 18 is 36. 8 by 21 is 168. And you keep working the numbers to see what you get. This means the 1 spirit of man of the heavens. This is the Kabbalah picture. This is the chakra. This is the design I took out of the Kabbalah. I put it on the frame of the roulette board. And those are the numbers I got. I started at number 8. I did not have 1, 2, 3. I did not have 4, 5, 6. I didn't have 7 and 9, because man has arrived in heaven. Now he splits up from one side and the other side, and he starts to think. He has the brain. He's connected right into the earth, into the smaller of the understanding of the difference inside the spirit that we do not know, that we do not understand, because we don't know how it gets here. Well, do you understand how the electric gets to your light? Do you understand when you put meat in a pot and you put a little bit of butter? The elements of the electricity, they click together and they send messages, but we don't know how to read their message. Just like if you tell the electricity to turn off, it doesn't turn off because it doesn't know your voice. So eventually they come on and they tap their hands and the electricity is going up. You talk to your car and the car knows your voice and now the car starts. Batman did it and all the other superheroes seem to do it. It seemed like in this world that everything that is going on in Hollywood is because they know it happened. Somehow they have an insight to the actual reality of what we call the Kabbalah. They call it the dark light because they don't use it the same way that it is supposed to be used. It is supposed to be used in the goodness and wholeness for all, but it is not. And that's what makes Earth, Earth. The way I see it, if there's more than one element, then there's more than one element in the universe. There's different kinds of, let's say, folders. We go into folder number 1, and we say, folder number 1, we need some people. I need people from your folder to come into my folder, because I have some people. They are in my world of the Jew, but I need your people from Allah to come visit, because we have to start a discrepancy so we can better the minds of the two sides. Although in this world we see the others that are so cruel, but when we go to the worlds of the other folders, when we enter, it is the Jew that is a fool. It is not the Jew world. This is the Jew world, but is there a world for every other one? By basics and knowledge, if there is 9, there must be 9 others. But if there is one God, there is 8 others. If there is one man, there is 7 others. If there is one opposition to man, there are 6 others. If this is the secondary world, there are 5 others. Now we are left with the 4 and 5 elements, and that is what's left that created everything. There is a separation and a folder and a color and a number and a shape for every single one. There is a sound that comes out of every single one. Some letters double up, they come from different languages, and they end up sounding the same and looking different. Some people from some nations in Spanish, otherwise in Greek, otherwise if they're Arabic or Hebrew or Jewish or French or Turkish or Russian or doesn't matter, Asian, what you speak, it has a sound. The sound comes from somewhere, I don't know where. There you go, another sound. What did it sound like? What letter, what fell, what broke? This is the way it broke, and the tingle was what it was with. I try to keep this a little poetic. Whether it's good or not, it's irrelevant. I must empty out inside. I have over 15 pages written, and all I want to do is write them as fast as I could, and I know that's not right. It's not that it's wrong, but it'll never get anywhere. If you open up the floodgates of the canal, the ship will just slide in and sink, eventually turn over and disrupt. That's not the way to do it. If you forget and you lose information, well, that's the way it is. Keep going on. I'm getting the information. I'm not going to stop. I'm starting on the Kabbalah. I know it's not going to be a difficult read, and I know it's going to be a very difficult read, but I started to read it, and I liked it. At the beginning of the Kabbalah, okay, I started on page 189. But on page 189, it says to you, it doesn't matter how smart you are. It doesn't matter if you're a doctor or a mechanic. You have to be a little bit of everything. When someone comes to your door, we watch to see who it is, because we never know who's coming to the door. The Kabbalah sort of says the way I see it and understand it. If I see number 1, then I can go to 11 and I'll see 2 ones. And then I can go to 12. And then I can go to 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19. But once I reach 20, at 21, it becomes the 21st. That means 20 and then first. 20 is first, 20 and second, 20 and third, and then we get 20 and fourth, TH, fifth, TH, but in fifth, there's a B and an F, and there's a difference of understanding and explanation. In Spanish, when the B comes to feed the hive, the B in Spanish ends up sounding like a B, a V. The V gives life in the secondary world, which is the B. But because there's a bee that has 2 stingers on each end, that means it takes 2 parts to equal to 1 life. We sting at both sides, but we only come up with one answer at a time. It's a battle to hold the gates up, continue on reconstructing your ripped out pages, putting them in order. At the same time you're putting them in order, new information is now coming in. What do? You slow it down and handle it. But you feel like crying because you want it all. You want all the information. Is it free? Absolutely, absolutely free. But you got to work. You got to slow the gates. You don't want the boat to travel over to the other side. I wrote down, a few little things. I'm jumping all over the place. You don't mind. You see that? Maybe if I hold it a little higher. What if I hold it too high? How about here? Oh, what about here? Oh, what about here? Oh, now we're all screwed up, eh? What if I just hold it in the center? The letter M, both ways. The letter S or Superman's S. The letter L. The letter N. The letter O. What's in the O? Well, it's the big O, and we got the baseball diamond. We're ready for the game. Now all I have to do is build the outfield. And then over here, we got a P. Well, I don't have to P, but we got a P. But I got a P upside down, because that's the way it looks. Even the L is upside down, but it's irrelevant, because if you were Greek, it would be gamma, and you'd be in the game. For everything you hear, for any language that you are, what you hear is what you hear. God made those ears for you to hear, and that's what you heard. What you do with it is the business of your own. Avinu Malkeinu. Well, to me, it sounds like an avenue. Mal, in French, sounds like sick. But if you're not listening properly, it sounds like six. Canoe is like a canoe. A sick canoe, 6-man, CA, creation, angel, passage, OE. O is 1 in 5. The O letter is not really a letter. It's a tunnel. What you put in the tunnel is what the letter becomes. It reconnects the alphabet. And there's more than one reconnection. And there's more than 1 0. Because there's one at 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. We have D's inside R. But depending on how you're writing, because if you're only writing square and not using the slant, or if you're writing only on a slant from the Greek, you're going to get different information. So you have to decipher it differently from what it creates. Because the V and the 1 just held up in different positions will create you just about the whole alphabet. When we go to Roman numerals, okay, you can say M, D. Hey, I'm a medical doctor. 13, 1 and 3 is 4. D is the 4th letter. 4, 4, 3, 3. 10 is 1. 5 is 5, but it's 22 and it's 4. It's a 22nd letter in the alphabet. But I got 4 1s. But that's not what they have in Roman numerals. They only have 3. The 4th one becomes next to the V. It becomes the 4, just like Mars is next to Jupiter. If you put 3 X's in a row, it's okay. You get 60 for the first one. You get 20 for the next one. You get 10 for the other one if you were bowling. If you were looking at Roman numerals and they were all separated, they would be 10 each. If you put 4, it does not work. We have to use one of these to minus one of these to get to the answer of 40. 24th letter, 24th letter, 24th letter, 72. These letters will create 7286 because V1 is the 6. V111 is the 8. V1 alpha, V8 omega. 6 and 8 is 14. 1 and 4 is 5. 68, 72, 68. It's the two worlds of 7, the Christ, man, and the heavens that is connected between 88. The other part I didn't show you about what I was just working on in my last book, and I'm going to jump back to the Kabbalah stuff, is, just give me a second. Oh, right, over here. Here it is. Here. The Kabbalah numbers on the left were 57, 98, 63. Creation of man, the 9 birth of the 8 heaven that played the role of center, and this is the 5 of the stop sign, which is the 5 of everything, but it's the 7th gate, the center of the Magen David. 7 and 5 is 12, and 1 and 2 is 3. 9 and 8 is 17, 1 and 8 is 8. 1 and 7 is 8. 6 and 3 is 9. 3 by 8 is 24. 3 and 8 is 11. 24 and 11 is 35. No more 8. 8 times 9 is 72. 8 plus 9 is 17. 17 and 72 is 89. 8 and 9 is 17. 1 and 7 is 8. 3 and 5 is 8. The Kabbalah says 88. It does not talk about the 3 creation of the Spirit. It's talking about before. It's telling you all about life. The 88 plus the 3 creation will bring you to 91. You add the game of life by putting the ace on top. The ace on top has a value of 14. You would end up to 105. If you add the letter O from 105 as omega, you end up at 120. 120. If you end up adding, you just can continue on depending on where you're going. You choose a number. It's either going to be left, center, or right. That's the way the chakras are set up. That's the way I designed this picture off of the chakra picture, which came out of the Kabbalah. When you actually, I'm not sure where my page is. So give me a second. When I take a look at Kabbalah and how I spelt it, Kabbalah in numbers is 212, 213, 18. Or we can divide it up. Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I add it up, 2, 4, 5, 7. This one is 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. The word Kabbalah, using these letters over here, 212, 213, 18. This is the word I saw, the way they spelled it. It actually is 2113, 1313, 18. Because the B, if it's separated, it's a 1 and a 3. It depends on which reality you'd like to go. At the end, on one side, we have 7, and on the other side, we had 4. I only did the addition. If I multiply this, it's 28. 7 by 4 is 28, 28 days in every single month of the year. 7 and 4 is 11 plus 28 equals 39. 39 is the number for 10. It means perfection. It's the division between, when you get 39, it means 10. That means we have the 10-10 world. That means we have created the second side. Otherwise, you just have 5. God in the elements. If you only have God in the elements, man is not here and none of this exists. So it wouldn't be any use. So the V is up or the V is down, and the V is life and the V is 1 up. Man has 1 life, the 1 spirit of the 6. I don't know if I should say the 6 islands or which way I should go with the 6 or the 6 connect or the Magen David, the Star of David, but it just does connect the way it does. I was just fooling around. I don't remember what this is, but this is like an ingot of gold. This is the diamond at the bottom, and if you look, this is the arrowhead on top. If you really take a look, it's supposed to say KC inside of it. Can you see KC? K, and then C is here. I wasn't supposed to close this, but I still closed it anyways. Let me see what else I can get. I'm already at 24 minutes, and I know I zoomed in there so fast. Now, I don't know where I got this, but I've even gotten out what happens is when you move to the 5 hole, it's just a 5 hole. It's a 5 hole. But when you move the 1 into the 5 hole, it becomes 501. I guess it's 501 Levi, which means Levi, or Villa, if you want to say it. The 0. When you go bowling, when you get a split, they put this through it because it is a split. When you have a split, there's usually 2 and 2, or 2 and 1, or 3 and 1, and it's all description of creation. If you don't have the split, you have another number, and it's telling you a different story. But bowling is entered into my realm. Golf is into my realm. The most beautiful thing about golf is you can hit the ball as high as you want into the air, and only hit the air once you've touched it. You've been in the air, you've touched what that air is all about. But you haven't killed anything. Yet if you get it in the hole quick enough, running on the ground, you've killed a bird. Then you got an eagle. I don't know what it is. You got a club, you got a shaft, you got a ball, you tee up. You want to strike the ball real hard with your shaft. But by the end of the game, your back is hurting because you kept bending down to picking up your ball every time you finished the hole. You played 18 holes in golf, therefore you were on the green 18 times, or you gave up, and life is at an end, because it's one stroke at a time, and when you have a stroke, it's bad times for you, and the life comes to an end. The life that you visioned that you once knew is no longer the same once you have that stroke. But when you play golf, you never want to have the extra stroke. In fact, you're always giving somebody else a stroke before you start. I guess that's the penalty in life. 2 parts of the U family, just a quick design. Mug and Dove on one side, Mug and Dove on the other side, the U, and then this piece here that's made to fill in the entrance. Home plate, home plate. Is this first base or is this home plate? Do you know what I heard before on the radio? 4-score-and-7 years ago. The guy says, what's 4 score? And he says, that's 4 times 20. And what's funny about that is in French, they have a special way of saying 4 times 20. They say it exactly that way. But they call it a cat. A quatre-vingts. Quatre, 4, 3, 20, 4, 3, 2. Quatre-vingts. Do you follow me? Quatre, vingt. A vine, a 2 vine, a V. A V is 2. You can't have a V like this, but you can have a V like this. Quatre-vingts, 4, 3, 2, makes 80, but it's actually 9. 80 and 9 is 89. 9 by 8 is 72. 9 and 8 is 17. We have the same number again. It repeats because when the birth comes, the heaven lives. For thee who was born. So we saw the way the 2 minds work, your head and the other head. Here's the feed bin in between the 2. It goes off to this, which would be Saturn, and this would be Mars. I don't think anybody's on Mars. In fact, this whole world is a facade for the reality that's actually the truth. We don't want to know the truth, because tomorrow night I'm busy. There's a television program on. We're not here to measure up how life came to be. If we measured up how life came to be, maybe we'd have the element that would help us sustain life to continue. Should we all know? Or was it given to one to revelate for the rest of the peoples so that we all can get on board and understand that there is a real liberty to this whole thing? And there is a truth to this whole thing. 4-score-and-7 years ago, 7 and 4, the number of Christ. 47, T-I-M-E. 4774, 121, 11 by 11. Which direction would you like to go? What would you like to understand? Right now, I know absolutely nothing. But if you give me something that I can show you, and you can understand, and it's relevant, and it shows substance, then you see, and I see, and then we understand. So part of what I would say, or whatever I would do, would become a reality between us. We must make this grow, because there is truth, and it must grow. The only way for us to survive is for things to continue to grow. For now, I'm going to cut short. I think I have one more thing to show before I cut this off, if you don't mind. If we were walking or going through a canal, we'd start in one, and we'd go down the ship over here. the water would lower, and then we can go out through the 9. Or the 9, it would rise, and we'd be in the 5, and then we can live the life of 6. And 4, a creation of 3. See how the waters come down and go up? See the X? If you were in an elevator, you'd think you want to close the doors. Otherwise, you're looking like a KK over here. Otherwise, you're looking at V1V. But they're turned the other way. They're pointing at the 1. They're saying lower than and higher than, and it is in the center of what it is. It is what it is. 3 can be a wreath. It can be a tree. Heavens, angel residence. H-A-R-E. It's a hare, it's a rabbit. But if it's a rabbit with no transmission, we take away the T, and the rabbit becomes a rabbi. 2 buck teeth. You ever see your teeth? 2 big on the top, 4 on the bottom. Those are the only ones the welfare agency will pay for and give you white for those teeth. 2 and 4, 4 and 2, 66, the connecting islands. Whatever man has decided to do, it's because it has been decided before that it can be done. Whatever you bump into that cannot be done has already had the angle of what could be done. So what you can't find, you actually could find, but you're not looking the other way. When you look the other way, you seem to lose this way. The other way becomes that way, and it becomes this way in the way you're going. Now that you're going the other way, you no longer see what was that way. Now it's working that way. We just keep going back and forth. And as we rise, we keep going up the center, this way, and this way, and this way, and this way. There was one other thing I had to show. I didn't have to show anything, but I didn't want to do this. Arrive alive at 5. Thought center ad 43221. I do want to find this and just show this little thing that I did. Oh, please find it. You don't mind just waiting a second? Oh, you know what was funny? My show is called The Beth Jacob. B-E-T-H. If I would take the B and remove it, and just leave the E, add the letter R, or angel resident, that was in the show tonight, and we'd have the birth of the earth. Jacob, J-A, is a natural letter. It's in the A family. Or J is the father of A, and K is the father of A because the K is before the A. When it all starts off, it's A, and then it's H, but it's lost in CH and E, and all you hear is the ch. The electronic world, the E world, the elements, the 7-Eleven. Jacob is a J, Cobb. Now they call Jacob a brake, because in trucks they put on the Jacob brake. Jacob, or a web, a cobweb, or corn on the cob, or an ear of corn, or an ear of birth. A blue jay, a cob, or is it a cub? A blue jay becomes a cub. He's part of the club. He's a treff. A treff is in the field. It's like hay and straw. But with the straw, you sip and you drink. Or you blow out, or you toot, just like the Schaefer. To be a jay, to be a blue jay. Or to just say jay, because jay in French means I have. And if you have the blues, well, you're in this world. Now we're ready to go for jazz. I have to turn 2 more pages and see what I wrote. It's all over the place in my book. Oh, we're at 33 minutes. No, I can't find it. I am all over the place in here. It's not here. It's not here. What I did try to do, I mean, I'm going to show it. Should I show it? I'll show a couple of things. The number 6, okay? You see the little 6 when you have a deck of cards? When you have that 6 and it's upside down, the 6 looks like an E. The 5th letter, 6 and 5, the E world. The 3 upside down looks like an E. The 2 is a 2. The A becomes upside down. If you put them together, okay, it will create a diamond. The 4 upside down looks like a chair or a small H. The 7 looks like Lexus. It could be understood okay, in different terminologies, but the 7 makes a flat back. What I mean by a flat back, if you put two 7s together, you'll end up with a flat platform and two angles like this, which will end up creating the pyramid. 7 creates the pyramid. 4 7s, right, create two diamonds upside down from each other, creates the Magen David. 4 7s, 28, 4 and 7, 11, 39, 3 times 9, 27, 3 and 9, 12, 39. Then when you have the 8, but everybody knows that H is actually 2 C's. The X is actually also 2 C's, except when you move the worlds, the way you design is now different. So they look a little different when they're actually the same. I'm not the one. When I go on to messages and stuff and I want to start writing, do you want bold? Do you want italic? Do you want fancy? It asks you 50 different ways to lead your lover. And you choose a way. And while you're typing, you leave it all the same way. It's the same thing when you try to break down any of these kind of, the stuff I do. If there's a tune, what did it come from? What did it come from? Look, click, 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 fire. You know what I'm saying? Jing-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling, key, someone's coming to car. Clip, 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 I got clippers. Everything has its own specific sound. Grind, 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 grind. We have it ground in our mind. Certain things that will, oh my God, the shovel, I can't listen to it, no, it's hurting my head. The cement ponds. The reason and the facts of life, it's not that they're in your head, but we have the capability with our minds to go and get this. Wherever mainframe actually is irrelevant, because our mainframe is right here. We must settle the facts and understand the routes. How do we go forward? I will tell you one thing. Everybody said the Kabbalah is not easy. The Kabbalah said itself, it's not for smart people. It's just a special mystical thing. Magicians can understand it. People that believe in magic most likely will understand. People who do Hollywood can probably understand the vision because they have it. I have it because I want it. When I hear things, whatever I hear, I'm going to tear it apart because I want to know where it came from. And I think that's what the good Lord wanted us to do near the end of time, to put things back together to show that He's still here. Without Him showing His face, He left us all the information that we can just believe just the way it is. Raphael, 72, 86. I'm not leaving. I'm into the Kabbalah. I'm going to write everything else down. I'm going to slow down one more notch because I can't handle this frustration of writing too much down and then not being able to get it onto paper and get it out to you to the actual value that it is, so you can understand that numbers are not numbers, they're signs, they're divisions. D is a division of David and Goliath. D and G. 4 and 7. Magen David, medical doctor. 13, which is actually 4. Bring the 1 and 3 together, creates it to be a 2. And now you got 2 and 7 and 2 worlds of 7. Or excuse me, it was 2 and 3. Or is it 1, 2, and 3? 4, 2, and 3 is because it's in between 1 and 5. And then 1 and 5 is 6. And 6 closes it all down at the max. There's a formation for the creation of every sort. We just have to sort it out. What other letters are there? Just keep bringing on the letters. It's a D, it's in the D family. It sounds like Ed, it sounds like Eddie, it sounds like Freddie, it's in the F family, but the D is high in sound. It doesn't matter how you divide the words. Number 1, to understand the E, the number 5 E, and the placement of that, as I understood today, is for the elements. God and the elements. The other thing we have, the elements, is the whole. We need the hole, and we need the shaft. We need more than one shaft. We need a shaft on the left and a shaft to the right, so we can be able to stand up straight and move around in between. And then we need one more shaft straight up our butt end that energizes us with the ground from the earth. I don't know how it goes through your feet and through your ears. It makes your hair rise off your head and the hair lift off of your arms. It's all here. It's all here. We are not here. The body that occupies the mind is here. We visualize and think we're here because we see so close to everything and we're walking and we feel. But the real truth of who we are is somewhere down there. I'm not pointing. What do you, my what? My finger? You want me to do this with my finger? No, it's that. I just spoke to my friend in China. He says it's raining down. I go, no, it isn't. I go, it's raining up. Because China's down there. And if it's down there, it's raining down to him, which is up to me. And now it's up to you. Raphael, 7286. Uncle Sam, he does want you. The spirit of angel and man. One spirit, three creation. Two worlds. One center that connects. And at the end, sorry, my computer shut down for a while. I was regenerizing during the 3 seconds that I took a break. Liar. I'm not a liar. You are a liar. Why don't you tell them what actually happened? I tried to rhyme and I couldn't find anything to rhyme with. I couldn't find anything decent to say, and I was just going to occupy your minds for no reason. So I just stood there and I just shut my mouth. And sometimes it's just better that way. Raphael 7286 in the constellation of Pegasus, just below Andromeda, connecting to the Baffin Islands, Nunavut, and all the way over to North Pole. I want to wish Santa Claus a Merry Christmas, a Yom Kippur, and a Rosh Hashanah. Be well.